Is the agency responsible for the safety of every medicine you take currently in a state of total collapse? The Food and Drug Administration, once viewed as a bedrock of American stability, is facing a level of internal turmoil that should have every citizen asking serious questions about who is actually holding the reins. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you get the updates that the mainstream media often tries to brush under the rug. Late Friday night, news broke that sent shockwaves through Washington. Tracy Beth Hogue, the agency's top drug regulator, has been ousted. This isn't just another personnel change, it is a clear indicator of deep-seated instability. Hogue had been serving as the acting director of the FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research since December. To put this into perspective, she was the fifth HEATR acting head of this vital division since the start of this current period of turnover. When you see that level of churn in one of the most critical regulatory bodies in the world, you have to stop and ask, what is going on at the top? The Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, or CDER, is the heart of the FDA. This is the body that determines which drugs reach the market, which therapies are deemed safe for children, and which treatments are pulled from circulation. It is essentially the gatekeeper for the pharmaceutical industry. When the gatekeeper is constantly swapping out its lead, the entire foundation of public health security starts to look shaky. So, what does this actually mean for you? When leadership roles at the FDA become a revolving door, it inevitably leads to a culture of indecision and, frankly, a lack of accountability. If the person in charge of approving life-saving medications is constantly being replaced, it creates an environment where long-term strategy is sacrificed for immediate crisis management. We aren't talking about a junior analyst, we are talking about the person who oversees the clinical data and the scientific rigor required to bring drugs to the American public. This kind of upheaval almost always points to a collision between bureaucratic maneuvering and political pressure. Often, when high-level officials are ousted in such a swift and quiet manner, it's because there is a fundamental disagreement on the direction of the agency or perhaps, on how cozy the relationship between the regulator and the regulated should be. Are the standards for drug approval being compromised to meet external demands, or is there an internal effort to push back against a system that has grown too detached from public safety? We don't have the full story yet, but the pattern of 5 leaders in such a short window is not a coincidence. It is a symptom of a systemic failure. Consider the implications. Every single American relies on the integrity of the FDA. If the leadership is in chaos, how can we be sure that the decisions being made are based on the best science rather than political optics? This is a massive issue that affects the pharmaceutical industry, the medical community, and every household that depends on prescription drugs. When the people at the top are fighting for control, the public is the one left to deal with the consequences of potentially rushed, stalled, or politically motivated decisions. The question now becomes, who is going to step into this vacuum, and can they actually stabilize an agency that seems to be in a constant state of flux? And more importantly, does the current administration even have a plan to fix the broken internal culture at the FDA? Or are they content to keep shuffling the deck chairs while the agency drifts further into uncertainty? We are looking at a critical moment for federal oversight, and the silence coming from the higher-ups is deafening. So, what do you think about this? Do you believe this is just standard political turnover, or is there something much more sinister happening behind the scenes at the FDA that the public needs to know about? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to hear your perspective on whether you still trust the agency to put your safety first. This situation is evolving, and we are going to keep tracking these leadership changes as they happen. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and don't take these bureaucratic upheavals lightly. They affect all of us, and it is time the American people demanded more transparency. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.